Well, hello racing fans, and welcome to our Gallop TV preview show for Saturday the 14th. As we mentioned, it is a double header. Are racing alongside Hollywoodbets Durbanville this Saturday, and it is the big T, the inside track. What is on offer? Well, there's 8 races carded, and I'm just looking at the times of the races. Well, you need to get on by 12:20 if you want to play race number 1, which will kick off the exotics. As always, it is Alistair Cohen on the line. Haven't touched base for him in a while, or haven't done a preview show with him in a while, and nice to catch up with him. Alistair, nice bumper weekend for racing fans, a double header on Saturday, and then we got that Hollywoodbets Scottsville meeting on Sunday.
Yep, Dee's lovely to chat to you again. Greetings to you, to all the viewers, all the racing fans. As you say, bumper Saturday, and I like the look of both cars. I think there's good bang for your buck at both venues. Not too sure what Graham said, but I will obviously be catching up on the Hollywoodbets Durbanville preview with a 9-race program there. Some very interesting first-timers and some very interesting horses that will be going around in Cape Town. And likewise in Joburg, nice to have Grade 1 winner Dice back in action. The very well-performed William Robertson, Zeus and his best mate Gavin Lorena also go around at Turffontein. So, you know, it's always a slow winter, and it has been a slow couple of months. But, yeah, this is the first sign of some real life on the half-veld in a while. So looking forward to it. Obviously, the Premier League is back as well. The Springboks taking a break this weekend. So I think what that does is that probably allows a few extra racing fans to cast a few eyes on the action on the Saturday.
Okay, let's get straight into it then. Race number 1, 1,450 meters, a maiden plate for 3-year-olds. And as always, we give you a guide at the time of recording, which is the day before, on the betting and horses in single figures. Number 3 at 7-2, horse number 5 at 5-1. Number 6 is now 3-1. Number 7 at 28-10, and 8 is at 7-2. Okay, what are we doing in race number 1, Alistair? I know it's the bipod will begin, but is there a bet that you have or a suggested selection that we can possibly be confident with?
In this race, no, but for all the right reasons, Dees. First of all, there is money for number 7, Heather's Boy, a son of Rafif, out of stakes-winning mare Folk Dance. Cabello Mazzaniani takes her out at a draw 1 for Michael de Kock. So there's already a little bit of a clue. There's also a touch of support for number 6, Hair Trigger, under Gavin Lorena for Roy Magna. Bring some good juvenile form lines into the picture. Queen of Fire, the horse who ran second just in front of Hair Trigger last time, has won Wild at War, was only beaten about 5 lengths in a Grade 1, having finished 2 lengths behind Hair Trigger. So that form is all working out nicely. Even the debut run, Pistol Pete's obviously above average. Just in front of Hair Trigger was Proceed, the champion 2-year-old. Colton behind was Guerrilla Warfare, who's gone on a bit of a streak. And then we obviously deal with the fitter horses in the form of number 3, Flight Engineer, and 80 Chacha. I am convinced that Ichacha is going to turn the form around with Flight Engineer. Ichacha was nowhere in the first half of the race, hit a bit of a flat spot turning for home and finished off the race nicely. The son of Dan and Platina, that experience is going to do him a world of good. We know it's not the pedigree way to ready them up first time out, so there'll be any amounts of scope for number 80 Chacha, and I think he'll turn around the 1 1/4 length deficit with the very well bred number 3 Flight Engineer, who I ordinarily wouldn't write off. And then we got number 5 Chariot of Fire, who was the subject of support on debut and then drifted come race time. It's a shallow form line, so I'm going to recommend that maybe Chariots of Fire could have found, or probably needs a safer landing spot. So in the first leg of the bipod, if there is a follow-through on number 7, Heather's Boy, he would go into the play, and I do respect his chances. But if the market kind of dries up and the support and the interest dries up on him, then 6 and 8 would be the 2 horses that I gravitate towards. But come race time, I might be singing a different tune with number 7, Heather's Boy, being an inclusion as well.
Alistair is spot on when it comes to the betting. Number 7, Heather's Boy, Hollywoodbets opened up 3-1, now trading 22-10. So keep a very close eye on that. And that's how we close off race number 1. The unknown in the race, Heather's Boy, does top the market, but there is form to recommend with the other runners that have runs under their belt. Race number 2, Place Accumulator, will begin at 12:55. Horse number 1 is at 8-1. And then we got number 5 at 16-10. Hollywoodbets number 6, Fireburst, another de Kock runner being punted, but this time a horse that did run first up. from 13 to 10 into even money, and then it is double figures, the balance. Well, the betting market makes it a race between 2, 5 versus 6. I was in studio the day Fireburst debuted, and I'm not going to say that she could have won that, but she was, up and down in the race. That's the way I'd like to put it. She only got her mind on the job when things were done. So I think there's lots more improvement to come.
Remember the Mother D's Rat Barana? She was out the top draw, owned by Mary Slack as well. And nice to see the progeny stepping out and looking to be of some substance. I don't know if beating or running second to Lady Ellie Moe is quite enough, though. So I think even money's a little bit skinny, certainly the way that I've read it. Look, it's pretty simple. When it comes to buy pots, when it comes to place accumulators, the PAB, my suggested bet, it's simply one or the other. It's set up for boxed exactas. I don't see anything else troubling these two runners. The draw that number 5, Ancient Wisdom, has got in favour of number 6, Fireburst, has got me to lean the Tony Peter Calvin Habib way. What adds to the impetus behind that is the fact that Ancient Wisdom finished a half a length in front of Accept Cookies. Accept Cookies came out and won, beating Tipperary, who's in this race as well. So indirect form lines firmly in favour of number 5, Ancient Wisdom, over number 1, Tipperary at least. So I think that kind of eliminates that particular debate. But if 6, Fireburst won, I would not be surprised by any stretch of the imagination. It's just circumstances, draws, and the fact that the form lines worked out a little bit better that I'm giving 5 a narrow vote of confidence over number 6, Fireburst. If you're looking any deeper, 9 Theatre of Life has definitely got some sort of top 3 chance, having run 6 1/4 lengths to Rodeo Drive. Rodeo Drive would obviously make light of this opposition, gets Pierre Stradham on board, and she'll come on over the extra distance and with a run under the belt. But I can't see the top 2 not being far from 6 or 6 from 5. It's as simple as that.
Okay, it's the exacta for the day, race number 2, and I will guarantee that you'll get more than even money on number 6 or more than 16 to 10 on number 5 for that exacta box, whichever way they run here in race number 2. And you can find your numbers for 3rd and 4th, minimize your spend there, and you could be in the pound seats if you catch that multiple times. Race number 3 will be the start of the Pick 6. It's over 2,000 meters. It's a maiden plate. And this race, Alistair, as we bring up the field, number 1 is at 2 to 1, number 2 at 5 to 1, 3 6 to 1, so is number 4 6 to 1, number 6 at 5 to 1, number 7 City of Lights is at 5 to 2, and then we go double figures, the balance. Are you as strong on number 1? High Q here, Clinton Binder's runner with Samanga Kumalo up after that good run last time out behind Master TikTok, or are you looking elsewhere in leg 1 of the Pick 6?
D's by default, I do like number 1, High Q. Are his form lines glowing? No. He's a professional maiden, a 10-stop maiden, not the horse I'd ordinarily go with. But in the run to Master TikTok, High Q finished in front of the Cane Train, who patently didn't stay, but did well to run 3rd over 2,000 meters, came out and franked the form, finished in front of Roll of the Dice, who's in this field, finished in front of Chief of Staff, who's in this field. So I just think, certainly from a PA and bipod perspective, it all points to number 1, High Q. He obviously acquitted himself well when going over 2,000 meters for the first time last time out. I just think that he's found the right time and the right place. It's as simple as that for High Q. Even if you go back to his anti-penultimate start behind Orange County, who, by the way, Pettigrew thinks is above average. Second was Skittle Skies, toppled over, a red-hot favourite subsequently. So I think all of that bodes well. I couldn't possibly banker him in the Pick 6, unfortunately, just because of the fact that he's had as many starts as he's had and he's not got the job done. But when you look around, who is the right one? I mean, there's just professional maidens from wall to wall here. And with the Cane Train popping up in quite a lot of form lines and High Q already beating the Cane Train, then you kind of start going around in circles. I think, funny enough, the horse that could pose a little bit of a problem is number 5, Madeira Cliffs, at any price. I don't know if I could motivate him to win the race. I can't motivate him to win the race because he's not done much. But at least he's got better and better with every start. He's not going over a trip that's likely to suit him a little bit more. Is he headed for the tops? I highly, highly doubt it. But I think that at least he's got a little bit more to come, whereas all these other horses, City Lights, who's so overdue, but for me is just a bit heartless, Gamer, who's had its chances, they just can't get the job done, D. So everything points number 1 High Q, Bipot, PA Banker, but in the pick 6, keep an open mind because very, very few are out of it. But it's one of those races where someone's going to get a reward, someone's going to get out the maidens here, but life might be hard past that.
Erring on the side of caution in leg 1 of the pick 6 is Alistair Cohen, but he does like number 1 High Q for the place accumulator and the Bipot. We move along to race number 4, Jackpot 1. It's a Pinnacle Stakes. It's over 2,600 meters, a Pinnacle Stakes. Okay, we're going to have a look at this, how they're betting. Number 1, 3-1. Number 2, 7-2. Horse number 3 at 7-1. Number 4 at 2-1. 6 at 28-10, and then it's double figures, the balance. I don't know how much a picture is painted for you when it comes to the best weighted column in these condition races over 2,600 meters, but nevertheless, it is there. Number 3 at 124, ahead of number 4 at a 121, and then joint numbers 1 and 2 at 119, and then there's a gap to Prime Example at 114, because these races, as you've come to know, and as racing fans will know, whilst, the key factor is stamina to see out the distance, lots can happen on the day once you start going over this type of distance. Your thought process here, Alistair, race number 4?
The spread of weights, D's, is the biggest clue in this Camargue Pinnacle Stakes, and also when you bear in mind that we're getting into the season. I mean, I think quite a few of these horses will be targeting at least the Racehorse Owners Association handicap on Betway Summer Cup Day. I mean, Zeus, according to the conditions of that race, if he goes there, and if he doesn't go for the Betway Summer Cup like he did last year, when probably running his career best 4th to Royal Victory, he'd be an absolute Monty there. And then you'd get quite a few other horses that I'm sure would target that. Prime Example, definitely on the back of his last win and his capabilities. Razor Hallelujah, I'm sure, would be looking at the Java and then going on to Summer Cup Day over 3-2. But for Zeus, despite the fact that he's a 10-time winner, all 10 wins under Gavin Lerena, and he's got Gavin Lerena on board, and easily being the best stayer in this race according to his rating of 119 and his overall record, giving this much weight away, especially after the ridiculous Whirlpool Gold Cup that he ran, having been at the back of the field before the drill hall, being in front of the field at the drill hall, and then running tailed off. I just don't think we can learn anything from that. So, interesting race. On every conceivable swing of form, Razor Hallelujah has got this race won. I can tell you that he's absolutely flying at home. He always does. He's such a happy horse. He's in such good spirits. He's a good, maybe honest is not the right word, but he's a solid stayer. And Muzieni's on board after last time he rode him was in the Lonsdale Hollywoodbets Greyville when finishing second to Down to Business, when Down to Business ran the finish out of him. In that Lonsdale run, he finished in front of Good Counsel and Explosive Bond. He comes in here very well treated to keep those horses at bay. Then in the run on the 16th of June, finished in front of Prime Example and Absolute Value, finished well in front of them, and comes in here unreally was rather superbly weighted here with 12 kilos less to carry. Even on the Gold Vase run where he ran into traffic, he's got Explosive Bond and Prime Example held. On the Gold Cup run, we'll ignore that, but he hammered Zeus, but Zeus had reasons for that run. And then even last time in the Middle Stakes, although Prime Example smashed him, Razor Hallelujah comes in here 6 kilos better off for a 3 1/4 length beating. He's going to be very, very difficult to oppose, and it's going to be hard for me to put anyone off because I do tend to sidestep and be a little bit ginger around Candice's runners, just in the hope that I get it right and not steer punters down the Swanee. But I think he's a big chance, number 4, Razor Hallelujah. He's my top choice. Horses to chase him home, number 1, Zeus, just because he's good enough, and number 6, Prime Example, because he stays well, and his last win to the Eye was so impressive. So I think only 3 horses can win the race, but in order of preference, 4, 1 and 6.
Just something that I've observed in this race, Alistair, and we jot down your numbers. I don't think anywhere in the country that you would have found this, barring the Appies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 runners. Numbers 3 through to 8, all carrying 50 kgs and no plus. Compliments to the guys up in the Highveld. I don't think any other jockey room would have managed that in the country. But the guys are carrying 50, no overs here, and I say barring the uppies. So that is something. A race number 4 here in this Pinnacle Stakes over 2,600 meters. So Alistair's given his thoughts, and thanks for his comments on Candice's runner, number 4, Raise a Hallelujah, and hopefully he's on the mark with that. Race number 5 is over 1,800 meters, a merit-rated 86 handicap, and this is the way they're betting here. Number 2 is at 3-1. How is this horse coming along? Wow, going for 3 in a row, and you can possibly put any jockey on, and the horse is going to win. This time it's Muziani. I say this because I want Alistair to give me his thoughts on why Pelisande Mkoli is on number 5. I don't know what happened there, but is it a choice? Number 6 is at 9-2. Number 10 is at 11-2. And number 11 is at 7-1. Yeah, Atarime is in excellent form, Alistair, going for 3 on the bounce.
I've always liked the horse, D's, and I will give you what I think the answer is to that Empoli sort of dynamic in just a moment. But I want to start with Muzieni. 4 winners at the Val on Thursday. I mean, we're halfway through September, so to even be discussing championship aspirations, as Muzi is wisely doing, would be absolutely foolish, because there's so much water to flow under the bridge, so much that can happen. Who knows which trainer is going to pick up which jockey, Powerful Yard's going to pick up which jockey, who knows which jockey is not going to last with a Powerful Yard, who knows if you're going to be fit for 12 months. There are all sorts of dynamics, but Muzieni has really hit the ground running this season, and I don't think, Muzi being the personality that he is, I don't think there'll be any yard in the country who wouldn't want Muzi on that horse right now. So feather in his cap, and the fact that Atarime is now ridden by Muzi for the first time in Atarime's career, I don't think the connections would bat an eyelid about that. To answer your question about Empoli, this is what I understand. Due to the fact that he's sponsored by Stone Stamkor, and Stone Stamkor's boss Willem Ackerman has horses with Tyrone Zaki, I think that Pelisande is obliged to ride the Zaki horses. I don't know if it's a sponsorship sort of agreement or whether it's a Zaki Empoli agreement, but there is a link there. So that's why you'll see a lot of Zaki runners at the moment ridden by Pelisande. And why wouldn't you? Because Pelisande has also started the season well. He's a very good jockey. He can ride light, and he's also striking at a very good rate for Tyrone Zaki. And those are the only 2 horses I like here. As you say, Atarime looking for a hat-trick of wins. He's on the up. His last win was better than his penultimate win, where he came back from a break. He's gone up in the ratings, but he's deservedly so. I've always liked the horse. I've always thought that he's had scope to improve, and if he continues on this trajectory, then he should be bang there this time around as well. 5 Apache Son, if he was drawn better, I'd actually be quite confident about him, but draw 10 out of 11 is not going to be too easy. But with that said, his last one, although beating Future Wolf, and that form is very, very quiet. In fact, it's ordinary. Apache Son won a lot easier than the margin suggested. He breezed past a whole lot of hard knockers, and he looks like he's going in the right direction as well. So place accumulator 2 and 5. I'm close to washing my hands with poor old number 6 Celtic Rush. I always go with him. The last time he was at the races, he was scratched at the start after stumbling on the way down to the start. So, I assume that he's quite fit, and he's obviously well. The fact that David Evenhazen's brought him back roughly 2 weeks later. Fashini and Nari, I suppose, have got some sort of outside chance, but the numbers I'm focusing on here simply are 2 and 5.
Okay, Alistair, just a short answer from you. You are Pelisande Mkoli's agent. You got free reign. You got no obligations, nothing to do with loyalty and contracts, etc. You can pick, choose, and refuse. Which horse you choose for him of the 2?
Atarime. Thanks, Dees, for putting me on the spot.
Okay, number 2 is what he would have chosen. Okay, that is going to be it. Race number 5. Race number 6, Pinnacle Stakes over 1,000 meters. And this is the way they're betting. Possibly the race of the day. Number 1, Dice, 5-1. 2, William Robertson, 5-1. Number 3, Rulership, 6-1. 4, Mover and Shaker, 7-1. 5, Sheldon, 8-1. Number 6, Anfield's Rocket, is at 9-2. Number 7, Cliffhanger, at 11-2. 9 at 8-1, and it's double figures the balance. Before we even assess the form of the race, I just want to, you to lend your thought process about Dice, because after that win in the Western Cape, which was a superb victory from him in that Cape flying, I don't know what has gone wrong, because that, I think, Lucky Udalarcus and, of course, Craig Zaki, the owners, Davy Shaw, everybody that's involved with the stable, they could possibly tell us a bit more. But they gelded him, we know that, in April. But he's just not the horse. Can the dice, we know, come back to the races on Saturday?
Absolutely yes, Dees, because I do know the excuses. And I actually spoke to Craig Zaki just before he returned to Joburg and ran the Tommy Hotspur, and everyone was so excited to see Dice, and he said it's pouring in Joburg, and it was, and he's not going to like the soft. So that explains the next two starts in the Tommy Hotspur, where he gave weight away as well, to be fair. He was stuck on the wrong side of the course on a very wet track. I was at Turffontein that day, and he just didn't feature. And also the fact that he had to travel back from Cape Town just over a month later. It was an experiment, and it didn't work. Then again, in the computer form sprint, it was wet. He was on the right side of the track that day, but it just wasn't his run, as we know. They took the hard decision to geld him on the back of that, and then he gave weight away at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. And to be fair, I'm not too sure that the undulations at Hollywoodbets Scottsville suit Dice, because we know that he's had a lot of problems, and the fact that he's even racing as a 6-year-old and he's got 17 runs under the belt is credit to Lucky Hudalarcus. I think that everything's in his favour this time around. Yet the best weighted column is in his favour. No, he's not going to be at his absolute best here. He does have to give a lot of weight away to all the runners except for William Robertson, who I'd put a question mark next to over 1,000 metres, because he's obviously at his best over slightly further. But I think number one, Dice is on the right track in terms of the Turffontein inside track, on a track that's going to be running fast, and he is obviously the best horse in the race, being a Grade 1 winner. If he is not at his absolute best, and he won't be, but if he does have any vulnerabilities, I think it could come in the form of number 3, Rulership. I do have respect for him. Over 1160 last time, never had a hope in hell, but it was worth doing it on the fast track. He ran no sort of race behind Quantum Theory when there was a change of tactics. They allow him to stride over 1,000 metres, bearing in mind that he holds the record at the Val for 1,000 metres. And if you can go 1,000 metres and break the record of the Val, you've got to have a lot of natural pace. I think number 3, Rulership, can at least trouble number 1, Dice. Is Rulership better than Dice? No, but on the 14th of September 2024, a fit Rulership might be able to trouble Dice. William Robertson, like I said, too short, probably going to need the run and probably come on as the season progresses. He could be a nice candidate for Race Up the Merchants on Betway Summer Cup Day. Mover and Shaker, probably not quite at his best. Anfield's Rocket is an inclusion in the pick 6, by the way, so I think we're going to go 3 horses on the pick 6. 6, Anfield's Rocket is capable. He has now just become a sprinter. It's as simple as that. And I think that's probably where the race ends.
1, 3, and 6 for Alistair in the pick 6, and he's married to narrow things down for us and minimize the spend there in race number 6. Race number 7, merit rated 95 handicap over 1,450 meters, as we now are nearing the finishing post for the race meeting, and hopefully it can end up on a bang for you. Races 7 and 8 will be the last double on the card. Number 2 at 6 to 1. Horse number 5 is at 28 to 10. Number 6 at 8 to 1. Then we got these horses that are tight, numbers 7 and 8, 3 to 1 and 33 to 10 respectively, and then number 9 at 6 to 1. How many horses can we close things off here for Jackpot 1 with, Alistair?
Yeah, this is a tricky race, Dees. It must be said. A whole lot of winning chances. 5 and 7 are the 2 horses that I'm leading with, but I think quite a few need to be respected. I think number 2, Cape Lights, is a chance. I'd loathe to leave out number 6, Prince of Green, just because I'm always in his corner. And then number 9, King's Ransom, who didn't stay a mile last time out, gets some Unger on board, gets a lightweight. He'll be better over 1450, a trip that he's unbeaten over. But 5 and 7 are the 2 that I'm going to lean towards as my top 2. Certainly my 2 place accumulator suggestions. As far as Max the Magician is concerned, in his penultimate start, he came from a hopeless position, ran them down, looked the part when beating Bob's Your Uncle. If Atarime runs well in the 5th race on the card, like I suspect he will, then that'll enhance the chances. Draw 1's a huge advantage. Gavin Larena retains the ride on the Son of Water Winter. He's probably the horse they all need to beat. And even though number 7, Brave Viking, has proven to be very costly to follow, there's always support from him. He's a popular horse up on the half vault, and he's failed to get the job done. I think last time out, he had so much running in him, and he just got outrun over the closing stages. Must have felt like you had a grade 1 horse underneath him, and the fact that he'd been off for over 2 months, 2.5 months, probably just counted against him. I'm willing to give him another chance. The weights of that last run on the 10th of August do suggest that Brave Vikings got a very positive swing at the weights with Max the Magician, Bob's Your Uncle, and Warhawk Bomber, all horses around him. So I do respect his chances, and I do give him a winning chance. At 5 and 7, my top 2, but I think quite a few need to be respected as far as pick sixes and jackpots are concerned.
From results, you heard the numbers, and if you are playing for the, the money, the dividend, then you're going to have to look for some roughies here in race number 7 and maybe play it wide. But 5 and 7 going to be Alliston's numbers there in race number 7. Race number 8 over 1,450 meters. Number 1 at 33 to 10. Horse number 2 at 6 to 1. Number 4 has been backed from 7 to 2 into 3 to 1. Hollywoodbets. Number 5 at 5 to 1. Horse number 9 at 7 to 1. Number 10 at 9 to 2. I think the obvious question here, Alistair, will be, are we running for cover or are we all in with run for cover?
I like run for cover a lot. He's a place accumulator banker, and I think that he's very, very close to a pick 6 banker. Dees, when you look at his 2 wins, during the green season, as I'll call it, on the half out, draw 1 on the inside track over this distance. He's looked the part. He beat Prince of Kildare, who won with utter disdain at the Val on Thursday. He's got draw 1 again. Everything has to kind of go right for run for cover, but what's going to go wrong from draw 1 is also jumps on terms. He's going to have the run of the race. He's going to slot him just behind. There's a bit of pace around with the likes of Flamboyant Fire. I also think Wolf Mountain, with a little bit of a lightweight and turbo power, can go forward. And I think it's all just going to set up for number 4 run for cover. It's as simple as that. Obviously quite a few horses that would ordinarily pop up on the radar, quite a few horses that are worth respecting, that have got, I suppose, some sort of winning chances. Wolf Mountain does keep me interested in his first run as a gelding and first run as a 3-year-old. But I just think it's all in favour of number 4, run for cover. All in is a very, very scary term to be using in the last leg in a handicap. But these I really like. I must confess, I think number 4, run for cover, very, very hard horse to beat.
Like you're thinking here with number 4, run for cover. Before we go to your suggested bet, Gavin Arena was a runaway winner of the championship in the Highveld last season. Things change and one has to do a rethink. And I just like the way he's picking his spots and keeping his name in the game this season as well. I'm talking about the Highveld, that is.
Yeah, well, I'm going to expand on that a little bit because, yes, obviously Gavin's got a very healthy support base on the Highveld. He's a hard worker. He's around the training centres every morning. He's got a very sharp agent in Wade as well. But I know that Gavin's attached himself to some very big horses around the country this season. I know he'll show face in Durban from time to time. I think Peter Muscat would be keen to use him, especially after what happened at Hollywoodbets Scottsville on Sunday, booting home a double. But I know that he's also got a couple of big-name horses waiting for him in Cape Town during the summer. One Stripe being a case in point. He obviously came down to ride him in the Langerman, where sadly One Stripe was scratched just before the race due to an elevated TCO2. But to say that Gavin always means business, but Gavin's also been very happy and content to sort of be the top dog on the Highveld. But I think there's an appetite to just expand a little bit, to draw on a few more relationships. Maybe that's also by virtue of what's happened on the Highveld with Gavin, with his main yard, or certainly last season's main yard. There's definitely a little bit more fire in already fiery hours for Gavin Arena. So yeah, looking forward to seeing him get around the country, ride some more top horses. He's probably in the boat that Richard Ferree was about 3 years ago, in that he probably more focused on being strong at his home base and riding a lot of grade 1 winners around the country and almost being that type of boutique jockey. But Gavin's definitely hungry of that, there's no doubt.
Yep. When a challenge comes up, you need to focus, adjust, and find solutions. And I personally think that they're doing a good job, Gavin Arena and his team. Let's go along to your suggested bet now, Alistair, as it comes up on screen. And you mentioned that it's going to be the place accumulator, and I see it. And by the looks of things, it's a very inexpensive spend. Go through it.
16 Rand. That's all you're going to have to part with for 100%. In the first leg, you can bank a one or the other. I've gone bank a 5, Ancient Wisdom. In the second leg of the PA, I've banked at number 1, High Q, but not too easy. Leg of the pick 6 that. Then gone 1 and 4, Zeus and Razor Hallelujah. By 2 and 5, Atarima and Apache Sun. Ironic that one of the best agents around has asked me to play the agents in that race. By 1 and 3, Dice and Rulership. By 5 and 7, Max the Magician and Brave Viking. By banking number 4, Run for Cover in the last.
Okay, that is it. You heard it from Alistair. It only costs 16 Rand. We say only because what we're suggesting is that we're hoping to multiply that perm out, because we got 2 horses in a few of the legs there, and you can multiply that perm out. Thanks to you, Alistair Cohen, for your time. And where will you be on Saturday? I presume it will be Hollywoodbets Durbanville.
I will be at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, but looking forward to all of the action. 17 local races on the go. It should be good fun. It always is. And, always great chatting to you.
Thanks for your time, Alistair Cohen, as we say goodbye to him. For Alistair Cohen, for the Gallop TV team, for myself, Dees Diner, and to you, the valued racing fan, there's plenty to play for. It's Graham Hawkins that giving you his insight for the Hollywoodbets Durbanville race meeting. Alistair Cohen about the Big T. Sunday is Hollywoodbets Scottsville. But have a blast, find all the winners, and hopefully it turns out to be a wonderful day for you. Wherever you are playing, jot down the times, guys. That is most important for exotic plays. You've got 2 meetings on the go with all the international meetings as well. Jot down the times and get on the tote. From myself, Dees Diner, until you meet again, you take care. Salani Gashle.